All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. I'm a little late to the party. I know it. Man, a very busy weekend. The rain delay, kind of kept me from being able to watch the rest of the football game, but I did get a chance to catch up on everything. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Right now, Florida State and LSU at halftime down at the Superdome down in New Orleans, Louisiana for the Louisiana kickoff. I think that's a very good football game, a very physical football game so far. But let's talk about Auburn for just a second. A lot of different storylines with this game as I have been able to watch it and catch up on the happenings of what transpired the other night. Auburn taking on Mercer, who had a very impressive first week against Morehead State, scoring over 60 points against one of their FCS foes, which kind of solidified them as a easy top 15 team in the FCS. So we knew that they had some type of talent and some type of, a situation that could really give Auburn some eye candy as to what will be moving forward. Fred Payton, the passing quarterback at Mercer, 21 for 36, 197 yards, but only 5.5 averaging per pass for 2 touchdowns. Austin Douglas, who wowed the crowd the first week of the college football season for the FCS, held to 40 yards, and Mercer as a collective whole brought back down to size with 74 yards and an average of 2.4 yards per carry. Okay, yes, the FCS school, Auburn, obviously in the SEC. Many may even want to think that Auburn may have, once everything is pieced together. And this is going to be a long shot because there are a lot of good defenses in the SEC. One of the better defensive lines in the country. You have, Kobe Wooten, who is making some noise as one of the best defensive linemen in the SEC. He did a great job last year. And, it's really hard, man. There's a lot of great recruiting that goes on in the SEC, so it's hard to make those calls. And, we're really going to have to see how this thing actually plays out. You have Owen Papo, who is back, had 4 total tackles, and Derek Hall, who still is doing his thing, had a sack in this particular football game. So Auburn continues to progress. Iku Leota, one of the better spots on the defense with 4 tackles, 2 of them solo. Man, these guys really got after it and made themselves known here in this football game. Cam Riley, see, nobody talks about this. Cam Riley had 15 total tackles, 9 of them solo. This is something you got to watch. And for those of you who don't know, Cam Riley is number 13. He's a linebacker, and he's going to really make some noise in the SEC. Now, I would say, kind of dissecting through all the breakdowns and analysis, I think the biggest story coming out of this game is who is going to be Auburn's quarterback. Now, many may jump the gun and say, hey, we want Robbie Ashford. And I'm not saying no, and I'm not saying yes. However, there is a very small sample size of the passing of the quarterbacks that would, if I'm a head coach, if I'm going to place a guy in as a starter or place him in as not. Now, the stats speak for themselves. Now, numbers don't lie. TJ Finley was 9 of 14 for 112 yards. 8 yards average per play. He had a touchdown. He had some pretty good passes. His quarterback rating was only 43.4. Robbie Ashford, among the best in the SEC, at 4 and 7, 14.3 yards per pass. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. I'm not going to say that, okay, yeah, Robbie Ashford should have the starting job. I'm not even going to say that he shouldn't. I mean, he had a good output. He also tacked on 6 rushing attempts for 68 yards at 11.3. So let's just say, if we could ease over to Fred Payton's numbers at 21 attempts, and 36 attempts and 21 completions, and you still have that same average per pass, and you can ease down and have that same output per run, 6 runs for 68 yards, 11.3 yards per run, long 49, I would say, oh yeah, this may be your starter. But I think we got to get a little bit more sample size as to whether Brian Harsin makes that decision. Now, it jumps off paper like, yeah, Robbie Ashford should probably, take the starting position. But you have to assess the fact that the coaches watch these guys through camp. TJ Finley has emerged as the starting quarterback. Of course, we knew Robbie Ashford was very athletic and very talented. Made some really good passes in this particular football game. I love the way Auburn passed the ball around. If you look at the stats here, you got Javaris Johnson with 4 receptions for 117 yards. He averaged 29.3, had a long of 56. Shedrick Jackson with 4 catches. Now, my favorite play of the game, an item of Auburn that I was concerned about, is red zone play calling. I was impressed with the play call selection from Brian Harsin, Eric Keseel, to throw that quick screen pass to the tight end for the touchdown. That's some eye candy. That's something that teams are going to have to look at. A very good play call in the red zone. I think Auburn is in, they have to continue to progress. I'm looking at some of the teams that, they will face pretty soon. Georgia, Alabama is way down the line, so to speak. LSU is actually battling it out with Florida State. San Jose State, I'm going to have a video where I post their highlights here in a couple of days. Penn State, obviously, with the big win over Purdue. But this is going to be a very interesting football season. I think Auburn may have the tools in place to make it happen. This is my initial reaction to Auburn versus Mercer. As a matter of fact, I picked this game to be 42-17. Mercer blew it by missing the field. I can't even remember. I was half asleep towards the end of the game. I can't remember whether they went for 2 or missed the extra point, but I was real close. I picked 42-17. The game was 42-16. I will have an accurate analysis of the San Jose State game, especially as I look at video footage of them. Look out. San Jose State has a very mobile quarterback, which is going to provide another test for these Auburn Tigers. Like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.